Hello everyone, my name is Rosemary Amalempa. I am from Fort Hays State University. This is EDL 850. I'm going to be talking about a case that deals with software piracy. Category 1, problem identification and analysis. What do I know? I know that St. Regis School is a small school. It is located in rural areas, 25 miles from the city. St. Regis School serves students from K to 8. It has a population of 420 students. It requires 2 teachers in each grade level. One special education teacher serves K to 4 and the other education teacher serves the upper level. What do I know? I know that financial support for the school comes from 2 major fundraising efforts each year other than mega state allocation. In fall, the financial support comes from selling candy and gift wrap. In spring, financial support comes from spring fling race and from PTA sponsored spring fling. The school annual budget is only enough to cover the basic materials for teachers with a small extra amount to purchase either computers or softwares. What do I know? Mr. Keith Sambo is a principal of St. Regis School. Mr. Keith Sambo is a hard worker and cares a lot about establishing a positive relationship with everyone locally and at the school. Mr. Keith Sambo received positive feedbacks from staff and local residents after being the principal for 2 years at St. Regis School. What do I know? The PTA school faculty and staff agreed to purchase new computers with the fundraising money, and now they have 20 computers in the computer lab for students and teachers. The parent and faculty committee of the PTA also agreed to purchase new software for the next 2 years. Miss Lynn, the librarian/media specialist, worked with teachers and Mr. Sambo, the principal, to prioritize a list of software programs aligned with instructional objectives of as many grade levels and subject as possible. What do I know? When the software arrived, Miss Lynn developed a schedule for each teacher so that they had a scheduled time to use the computer lab for either computer-assisted or computer literacy instruction. Miss Lynn was pleased to see many teachers make efforts to use computer lab and to incorporate activities that make maximum use of the new software programs with their units of study. What do I know? After 4 months of the following computer lab schedule, several teachers approached Miss Lynn with an idea of how to utilize the new software programs on a broader scale. The teachers wanted to supplement their classroom activities with independent student use of the single computer in their classroom. They asked Miss Lynn to copy the newly purchased software programs so that the programs could be installed on computers in all classrooms. Miss Lynn agreed that having access to these programs in all classrooms would increase student use of the latest technology available in the school. What do I know? Despite copyright restrictions that govern reproduction of multiple copies without permission from the author, Miss Lynn ordered several flash drives for making multiple copies of computer programs selected by teachers to support grade level objectives. Once copies of computer programs were made, Mrs. Lynch distributed the flash drives to the two third grade teachers, Mrs. Williams, an experienced teacher, and Mrs. Brandon, a new teacher, to St. Regis, who happened to reject the copy due to copyright laws. What do I know? I know that Mrs. Brandon explained to Miss Lynn that teachers were not allowed to make multiple copies of commercial computer programs, and Mrs. Lynn did not like Mrs. Brandon's remark, so she responded, "Well, I don't care what you did in your other school. At St. Regis, we have to make every penny count for our students." At the end of the day, Mrs. Brandon made a point to stop by Mr. Sambo's office and told him about how Mrs. Lynn was breaking the copyright rules by making multiple copies of commercially produced computer programs that are copyrighted. What do I know? I know that Mr. Sambo made a point to see Miss Lynn and the next day, and he noticed a pile of flash drives by a library computer and asked Miss Lynn about them. Mrs. Lynn proudly told Mr. Sambo that she has found a way to save the school money, making multiple copies of the new programs makes the technology available to so many more teachers and students. Our parents worked hard to earn that money, and I have been told that many teachers want to have these programs copied and installed on their classroom computers. Then Mr. Samples told Mrs. Lynch to collect all the copies made and never to make any more. What do I need to know? What do I need to know? I need to know the following. Why did Miss Lynn agree to make the software copies for those teachers who asked her to do so when it is illegal to make software copies unless it is a backup copy? B. Why didn't Miss Lynn ask for permission from the author first before she could make multiple software copies? It was written on those software. C. Don't they have professional development training about copyright law at St. Regis School? It seems that most teachers and faculty do not know the consequences of breaking the copyright laws. The penalties could be very severe. What's the problem? The problem is that Mrs. Lynn made multiple copies of commercial computer programs that were copyrighted and never asked for permission to do so from the author. When Miss Brandon, one of the teachers, told Miss Lynn that making copies of commercial computer programs without permission was illegal, Mrs. Lynn became rude and told Miss Brandon that, "Well, I don't care what you did in your other school. At St. Regis, we have to make every penny count for our students." I guess Miss Lynn did not want to hear anything Miss Brandon was saying. Plan of action. Step 1. Identify the problem. For example, Miss Lynn made multiple copies of commercial computer programs without asking for permission. That was the problem. Number 2, schedule a meeting to talk to Miss Lynn about why she made so many copies of software without permission. Try to understand from her perspective. Step 3, decide what message as a principal you want to communicate to Mrs. Lynn and other staff members and faculty so that the same problem does not occur again. Solution: how to promote success to all teachers and students are just combined together. A. Teach the staff and faculty how to avoid copyright violations so that they can also teach their students the best methods to avoid copyright violation too. For example, tell the staff and faculty how software piracy is an illegal way of copying softwares that does not belong to them in a manner that violates the copyright laws. Step 2. Give some examples of copyright violation. For instance, downloading a copy of Microsoft Word from a file sharing website without paying for it is illegal because it is unauthorized copying of some purchased software. Step 3. Use Mrs. Lin's situation as an example to discourage staff and faculty from breaking the copyright laws. For example, when Ms. Lin made some unauthorized copying of software for all teachers who needed them, she thought she was doing a good deed, saving lots of money for St. Reggie's School. Little did she knew that she was violating the copyright laws, which could get her and the school in trouble. What was I thinking, feeling, and valuing? When Mr. Sambo told Mrs. Lin that she was resourceful for making all those copies for other teachers, I got shocked. But then he told her to collect all those copies and to stop making any more copies. At this point, I wondered what happened to those copies after she collected them. Did she throw them away? Did she destroy them? Is she planning to use them in future? Why didn't Mr. Sambo tell Mrs. Lin what to do with those copies? Just wondering. I also wondered if Mr. Sambo talked to the PTA president, Mrs. Evans, who also volunteered in the library to help Mrs. Lin to make those illegal copies. Okay. Did Mr. Sambo know that Mrs. Evans knew nothing about the copyright laws being broken? I hope he talked to her. Category 5. ISLLC Reflection on Standard 2. This is my reflection. After reading the case of software piracy, I realized that many teachers and faculty do not know when they are breaking the copyright laws. I think teachers and faculty are so comfortable with copying material that they do not remember that copyright laws exist and penalties for breaking them are severe. I think the building level administrator should have teachers and faculty trained about copyright laws at least twice a year as a reminder to always follow the rules. By doing this, the building administrator will be promoting the success of all students by advocating, nurturing, and sustaining a building climate and instructional programs conducive to student learning and staff professional growth. And that was my reflection. And that's it. The end.